So I wanted to talk about the recent Russia-Africa summit that was held in St. Petersburg, Russia, in which, amongst other things, Russia wrote off $20 billion of African debt in a sign of support for Africa. People need to understand that Russia has a long-standing relationship with Africa that is actually very commendable. Probably the greatest example of that is the Soviet Union's support for Cuba and Angola, which that support for Cuba and Cuba's operations in Angola against Western-backed terrorist organization known as UNITA, which was also being backed, by the way, by the South Africa and the South African military. Cuba's defeat of UNITA and South African forces in Southern Africa really helped lead to not only the liberation, of course, of the frontline states, as they were called, bordering South Africa, especially Namibia, which had been occupied by South Africa for decades, but it also led to the end of apartheid because it showed the vulnerability of the South African military. And you don't have to take my word for that, but you can take Nelson Mandela's word for that, who said that. And so because of that, Africa has a lot of trust for Russia in a way it does not for the United States, which frankly supported apartheid South Africa really until the end, despite, I think what we've been led to believe by the mainstream press. In any case, Russia is continuing really the Soviet Union's support for Africa. And one symbol of this is the Patrice Lumumba University, which during Soviet times gave free education to people from Africa. And that university has now been renamed by the Russian government Patrice Lumumba University and will be used for that purpose to give free education to Africans. And so, a lot of that spirit of the Soviet Union towards Africa continues to this day in that Russia-Africa conference.